So you know the kid I mean, the one that sat at the back of the classroom in school in the corner, bit of a misfit, didn't speak to anyone really, a little bit ordinary to look at. Well, in the school of cars, the X3 is that kid for me. Finally, it's grown out of its awkward phase. Since launching in 2004, they've done nothing with it, which they really should have. 2010, we finally now have the second generation BMW X3. Good combination between the X1 and the X5 in terms of size and looks. Definitely better looking, definitely more manly.
There's no mistaking that the new X3 is bigger, and why not, since it will now be built in the USA, where bigger is better. It's 3.3 inches longer, just over an inch wider, and 1.4 inches taller, all combining to give it a much more purposeful stance, a hint of what greets you behind the wheel. The design has got quite arty on the bonnet with its new scoops and humps, but other than that, it's pretty subtle. The kidney's bigger, front and rear lights are different, and from the back you'll see the roofline now slopes down to meet the top of the tailgate. It almost looks as big as the original X5, which begs the question whether it can still be called a compact SUV.
I think most people would agree with me when I say bravo BMW for finally making over the X3 on the outside. Subtle changes, but they do make quite a big difference. Very nice, nice work. For the petrol heads, where it's not all about looks, it's about what's under the hood. There's some meat in your new X3. New engines, 3-litre petrol that we're driving, the X-Drive 35i. There's also a 2-litre diesel. Twin-scroll turbos in the new engine. What does that mean? Basically, it means you get power low down, but you've also got plenty of it at the top end, meaning it's the best of both worlds in the X3.
The petrol power plant has plenty of low-down torque, 400 Newton meters at 1,200 RPM to be precise, and its power stat of 225 kilowatts means it can sprint to 100 in a claimed 5.7 seconds. Not too shabby. Gone is my virgin X3 thinking that because it was bland looking, it must be a boring drive. The engine really is quite potent and exciting behind the wheel.
There's also quite a lot of new technology in the X3 that's actually new to the X range as well. You've got an 8-speed auto gearbox that we're driving, and very smooth, very nice gearbox. Switch it over into sport mode, you can actually feel the change. You can hear the change as well. Also got the manual option with the paddles on the steering wheel, which is really nice. Definitely showing you that they are aiming this for people who want a bit more of a sporty drive. You've also got stop-start technology, so X3 doing its thing for the environment, quite unique with an auto gearbox, and maybe part of one of the reasons that BMW claims that the X3 has got the lowest emissions in its segment.
Inside, the main difference is more space, thanks to the new dimensions of the X3. Rear passengers can sit in comfort or make room for more luggage, with the rear backrest now boasting a 40-20-40 split. For the driver, you get the familiar BMW treatment, all luxury and convenience, a comfortable seating position and technology at your fingertips. I love the new instrument binnacle with its flat, clear look. BMW claims the new high-res navigation screen is the biggest onboard monitor in its segment at 8.8 inches. There's plenty more legroom and storage space than in the previous model, which had been criticised for a substandard interior. Much improvement there then.
As with all cars these days, and particularly BMWs, there's so much technology on them to control your drive and the way it feels. So for the first time on an X model, you've now got the damper controlling, so you've got sport mode, normal mode and sport plus, and you can change that setting on the actual management system as well. So it controls your dampers, it controls your throttle response, your gear changes, and you do definitely feel that when you go through the different options. First time in an X model, electric power steering, which can sometimes numb the feel a little bit. Personally, I think it's great.
There's also performance control, which breaks your inner wheel in a corner, and the new X3 boasts hill descent for those who deign to take it off the beaten track. That is exactly what we decided to do, testing out its prowess on the gravel roads of Mpumalanga. The X3 loves it here, offering stability without detracting from the fun of driving on dirt roads, if you wanted to play a bit. A trip into the Kruger Park showed that new X3 retains the off-road ability of its predecessor. Clearance is decent, And whilst I was impressed with its ability, I wouldn't take it on anything too hectic, and quite rightly so. It's not built for that. Surrounded by a herd of elephants as the sun set in the bush, I felt confident that, like this little one, the new X3 has finally found its feet as a more deserving member of the BMW family.
Well, it's definitely not awkward anymore. It's definitely not ugly anymore. It's definitely not bland. Thrilling drive, very luxurious, great quality. It's a BMW through and through. Would I pay 600,000 Rand for it? Probably not. But at 450,000 Rand, perhaps the 2-litre diesel is a better option. Will it sell in droves? Absolutely.